Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we've got something slightly different. We've got a customer's Waco CFX fridge. This is the 40 litre one, and we're getting an error code for NTC, which relates back to the Famista. Now what's weird with this one is this is a brand new unit, but it's sat in a shed for 2 years after purchase. And he's used it only a couple of times and it's come up with this error. So instead of condemning the fridge, we've purchased a genuine Famista and the thermal paste that comes with it. So yeah, we're gonna swap it all over and fingers crossed that cures it. So to start with, looking at the front with the control panel, you literally just flip it up on its side. Make sure it's been switched off for at least 24 hours. And this panel here, you've got 3 screws on the side. You've got a row of 5, a row of 3, and a row of 3 on there. All Phillips screws, they screw into plastic. Don't worry about these little side trims. They screw into this panel, which all comes off together. So I'll buzz them off and I'll show you what's inside. Okay, so now all the screws, that side, bottom, and that side, and then you literally just grab it and just gently pry it all off. That's where the lip sits in all the way around, and just be gentle because there is a control module. So get it down like that, and then we're going to flip it, trying to do this one-handed, and here we go. So, the Famista plugs into this little box here, and what you want to do is buzz these 2 off, and this little cover comes off, and then we'll see the printed circuit board. So I'll try and do this one-handed. Okay. Got the screws out, and there's the printed board. Now it's up to you. You can take off these 2 screws and that board comes away from this trim, but you still can't put the trim down because of all the connections. But what you're looking for is on this side, it is the 2-pin plug with the 2 black wires. And what you want to do is just wiggle that, unplug it. Just make note of how it routes around through here. And if I just move that to the side, and we'll swing the fridge around, just let that hang there. And here it is here, running around, and then it runs behind the actual compressor, down here, that's it there. And then 2 little white clips are little P clips, and I don't know if you can see in there, there's some black rubber. You want to pick that off and pull it out. So the Famista literally just runs inside there, about here. It's only 20-30 centimeters inside the guts of it. Now to get to it is a bit of a nightmare. So this control module, if you have a look there, there's a little Phillips there. We want to undo that next, and then I'll show you how to get it just out the way to get to the screws. So we'll do that next. Okay, so that screw is out now. So you can wiggle this about. Now you can just see the screws under there, just. So don't want to mess around with this too much. So what you want to do is undo the floor panel screws, but leave 1 in down this corner. This is enough to bring this out slightly, to move this out the way to get to the screws. It's a little bit fiddly, but you don't want to remove this completely because we've got the compressor and everything all sitting on this. So I'll do that next, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I've popped all them screws out except for 1, and I've just slackened this off about 3-4 turns out, just to get this a little bit of free play, and that's enough. Trying again to do this one-handed. You see that moving? That's just enough to get this, and there you go. You can see the screws there. So fiddly, just got to hold that out the way. You'll undo them 2 screws, and then we'll be able to pull out the thermistor. So we'll do that next. All right, so we managed to undo them 2 screws, and then just hold that out the way. And then you want to just put a little bit of a wedge underneath that trim if you're doing it on your own, and that'll allow you to pull the thermistor out. Okay, very professional. I just grabbed some insulation tape and wedged that, which allowed me to get to the thermistor, and literally you just want to unpick the little black paste. There we go, and it should just slide out. Try and again, do this one-handed. There it is. And that's it. And you pull that through, and then you get the new one, which I've already got here, all ready to go. I've already put the paste on it, and literally you just do it in reverse. So we do that next. Okay, so new thermistor's in. I've just powered ahead slightly. Just screwed them 2 P-clips back in, lock this in. Don't forget to put that screw back in to hold this module, and then I've just screwed the bottom panel all back in, so it's all lined up nicely. Just ran the thermistor lead the same route as it did before, so take photos, just make note where it's actually ran, make sure it's not going to rub on anything, and then I've just literally plugged it straight back into the little control module. That's actually marked yellow, orange, sorry, for that plug, and it's labelled NTC, but you can't get them wrong. So there's only one plug that style with 2 black leads. So yeah, we'll just pop that cover back on, and then we'll flip it round and screw that panel back in, and then we'll switch it on. Just a heads up, these panels are a bloody nightmare to get back in without crushing the wires and get it all lined up and clicked into these lips. So it just takes a little bit of time. Just take it easy, and yeah, you get it. So we'll get that on, and then we'll switch it on, and hopefully that error code's gone. Get back to you in a minute. Okay, panels all back on. It's all lit in, all around there, so it's all good. Just forgot to say, when you're doing these screws back up, don't over tighten them because they're just going into plastic. But yeah, fiddly, but all good. We'll flip it down now. It's front, and we'll plug it into the mains. And okay, mains is in. Switch it on, and hopefully that fault code isn't going to come up. Switch it on. Set 3 degrees. Compressor's just kicked in. Can't hear it. 26. So what we'll do is we'll leave that alone for a couple of hours and make sure it gets down to temperature and it reads correctly. And fingers crossed, we're all good. And yeah, so I'll get back to you shortly. Okay, so it's been a while now, and we're down to temperature. 2 degrees. Compressor's off at the moment. 3 degrees. And it's running as it should. No error is coming up on it. So what we're going to do is just leave this overnight running at 2 degrees and make sure it's all good, and then we'll hand it back to the customer tomorrow. So I hope this was helpful for you guys to attempt to do it yourself rather than paying someone like me to do it. There's the heatsink compound, and if you want a link or want to know where I get the thermistors from, just put a little comment in the comment box, and I'll give you the link for it. So yeah, hope it helps, and give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll get on to the next one. Cheers.